great win at the Garden Tuesday night. And for more on the Knicks, we welcome in our NBA insider, Ian Begley. Okay, Ian, the key to that win over Cleveland, besides the outstanding performance of Julius Randle, was the play of the bench. If they continue to perform like that, could that change the Knicks' plans as the trade deadline approaches?
You would think so, Janae, because let's say, for example, the Knicks reel off a bunch of wins leading up to February 9th, and the bench plays a big role in those wins. I would think they'd be less aggressive in trying to find some more depth, some bench depth in the trade market. But, if they are around 500 or, they continue to kind of be inconsistent, I would expect the Knicks to at least be in play on some players who are out there, could be available via trade. So I think it does matter how this bench plays between now and, let's say, February 3rd, 4th, in terms of how the Knicks approach things in the days leading up to the deadline.
All right, so the trade deadline is 2 weeks from Thursday. As of now, who are they most likely to deal?
Cam Reddish, I think, is most likely to be dealt here. The Knicks, I think, have talked to several teams about Reddish over the course of the past several weeks, and I think that some teams have kind of standing offers of second-round picks for Reddish in place, and I think it's going to come down to, how much can the Knicks squeeze in a Reddish deal? Is it just Reddish going out? Is it a multi-player deal where the Knicks could try to bring a player back? I think those negotiations, are going to continue until the Knicks feel like they've gotten the most they can get. And then I think Cam Reddish most likely to be dealt. The thing about that bench play, though, Janae, that you mentioned, Obi Toppin, he's performed really well lately. If he continues to string together performances like that, I would expect teams to continue to call the Knicks and ask about Obi Toppin. I know there's at least one Eastern Conference team that's expressed interest internally, talked internally about Toppin recently. So if he continues to make shots the way he has, I would expect that interest in Toppin only to increase here.
All right, well, let's talk about Brooklyn, because according to Bleacher Report, Kyrie Irving is interested in an extension. His agent said the ball is in the team's court to tell them if they feel the same. What can you tell us about that situation?
Well, listen, Irving and the Nets, they did negotiate about an extension in the offseason. There were several proposals kind of back and forth, and ultimately Irving and his agent, should tell you, Riley Irving, decided not to go with the extension. They decided to sit tight and see how things played out this season. Now Irving playing well, it makes sense for them to at least seek out the possibility of an extension. I'd be a little bit surprised if the Nets went ahead and extended Irving during the season. I would anticipate them kind of waiting things out and letting the season play out and then letting the market play out a little bit. But there were proposals back and forth between the Nets and Irving in the offseason. And so, that tells you at the very least that the Nets had an interest then in getting Irving back on a multi-year deal. I would assume, based on the way he's playing now, that there's a degree of interest in doing the same at this point, but it's probably going to play out in the offseason more so than during this season for the Nets.
Definitely going to get interesting. Ian Begley, thanks as usual for bringing the knowledge to Honda Sports Night.